also comes to the job at a time when the Chancellor is looking for cuts across all departments. But for the moment at least, he appears to be winning his battle.
More from Lorraine Davidson tomorrow, but now sport. The soap opera is finally over.
That's right, Shireen. At last, the Paolo Di Canio saga is over. The Italian striker today signed for Sheffield Wednesday, with Reggie Blinker and £3 million coming to Celtic Park. We'll be hearing from Di Canio in a moment. He says the Parkhead fans still love him. And following the confusion of the last few days, Celtic say they're satisfied with the outcome, but deny misleading the fans over the Italians' future. Paolo Di Canio becomes Sheffield Wednesday's most expensive player ever this afternoon, and the view of many Celtic fans after the way he has treated the club in recent weeks will be good riddance. Last season now seems like a long time ago. The Italian had arrived from Milan in a £1 million deal in 1996 on a 4-year contract and proceeded to score 15 goals in 37 matches. In fact, no Celtic player seemed more passionate in support of the club's cause. Contrast that with last month. Unhappy that his demands for more money were being ignored, he became an increasingly detached figure, eventually going AWOL, never to return to Glasgow. But Celtic's conduct in the whole saga of his transfer, which sees Reggie Blinker making the opposite journey, has also been called into question. Just last night, Jock Brown told Scotland Today that Di Canio was not for sale. He denies lying to the fans. So what changed?
Paolo Di Canio arrived in Sheffield. That changed. Because the deal I'd struck with Sheffield was that if I could deliver him to their table to talk to him, then I could sign Reggie Blinker. They weren't dependent on each other, the two deals. We were going to get Reggie Blinker regardless, so long as I delivered Paolo Di Canio to the table. And it took him until last night, after about 3 or 4 false starts, to get into Sheffield. So as soon as he arrived there last night, I got a call first thing this morning to say he had arrived, had spoken to him, and we could now proceed with the Blinker deal.
There's no doubt Celtic feel they were used as a stepping stone to the Premiership by Di Canio, the hidden agenda as Jock Brown called it, but can they be happy with a deal in which they gain a player valued at £1.5 million, but lose a footballer worth twice as much?
In terms of rating players, it's another issue again. I would say Wim Jansen was very keen to have Reggie Blinker here. He'd also be very happy to have a well-behaved Paul Di Canio here, but we don't have that. What we have to have are players who will play as a team and who will stand behind their contracts and will do what they're paid to do. So we just can't have somebody, no matter who he might be. I mean, I don't think, we're quite happy to let him go to Sheffield Wednesday in the circumstances that he's not going to be doing his very best for Celtic.
As for Reggie Blinker, Celtic's 6th new signing, he could make his debut in tonight's friendly with Roma at Celtic Park. And he was keen to stress that he'll be his own man.
I didn't come here to replace anyone. The only thing is that in the whole deal he's going to another club, probably Sheffield Wednesday. But I wouldn't say I came here. I don't hope that the people expect me to replace Di Canio, because I'm Reggie Blinker, he's Paolo Di Canio, and I want to be myself, another second Paolo Di Canio.
Blinker has signed a 3-year contract, while Di Canio has pledged his future to Wednesday for 4 years. He could make his debut this weekend against old boss Tommy Byrne's new side, Newcastle, but he still refuses to accept that the Celtic fans are critical of him.
They love me, I love them. Maybe other people can speak about this. Di Canio don't use the Scottish Premiership for come in England. Story in the movie, in the paper. But I don't think they speak about me for this problem.
Don't you bet on it, Paolo. So Celtic versus Roma this evening, and
the stint goes to plan today after their plane to Austria developed a fault. The squad were delayed for 5 hours until a replacement could be flown in from Latvia. Well, apart from the plane, Wim Jansen has one worry, and that's the fitness of Stefan Mahe. The French defender is struggling to meet FC Tyrrell because of an ankle injury. 8:30 a.m. and the Celtic players checking in for the first time today, knowing that once they finally reach their destination, FC Tyrrell won't present an easy passage either.
There aren't any bad teams anymore. Yeah, you had bad teams with respect for Inter Cardiff. I mean, they weren't that good, but I think that's the teams we're going to play now is much better than that.
It'll certainly be tougher than Saturday's Coca-Cola Cup tie, a 7-0 thrashing of Rangers, Berwick of course. Darren Jackson starting the rout, Henrik Larsson continuing it now with his first goal for the club. And after Craig Burley's corner, a debut strike for Dutchman Reggie Blinker. The former Sheffield Wednesday man providing the assist now, allowing Morten Veghorst to weigh in with goal number 4. And before half-time, the perfect volley from Andy Tom made it 5. Now, a change of goal at the interval didn't stem the tide. Simon Donnelly managing to beat Michael Burgess twice. More subtle tactics are required next in the UEFA Cup tomorrow night.
We don't want to be too rash. I think the important thing is that we get the right result over there, albeit a draw or if we sneak a win. But I think we don't want to go there too cavalier, looking to get 2 or 3 goals and then get caught out losing a goal. So I think the important thing is we do the job here and get them back to Celtic Park.
I think you always try to have a good result in the away game, and this is more important than to play very well. I think the result is very important for us.
General Manager Jock Brown was at the airport today, but he didn't fly out with the team when they finally left this afternoon. He stays in Scotland to work on buying new players before Friday's UEFA signing deadline. More news on that tomorrow here on...
The club's second preliminary tie against FC Tyrrell of Austria will provide a sterner test than Welsh minnows Inter Cable-Tel posed in the previous round. Coach Wim Jansen believes it's important to come away with a good result for the second leg.
I think you always try to have a good result in the away game, and this is more important than to play very well. I think the result is very important for us.
Celtic will be boosted by the addition of recent signings Henrik Larsson, Craig Burley and Stephen Mahe for the tie, although the Frenchman will have a late fitness test prior to the game. Larsson, however, is fit, raring to go, but very cautious about the opposition.
There aren't any bad teams left anymore. I mean, I think many things that we're going to Austria and going to play a bad team, but I don't think it's a bad team we're going to play. I think it's a good team because, there aren't any bad teams anymore. Yeah, you had bad teams with respect for Inter Cardiff. I mean, they weren't that good, but I think that's the teams we're going to play now is much better than that.
A morale-boosting 1-0 victory over AS Roma in a friendly last Wednesday and a comfortable 7-goal victory over Berwick Rangers in the Coca-Cola Cup at the weekend has given the team confidence ahead of the tie, according to Celtic captain Tom Boyd.
I know that Berwick weren't in the sort of best opposition, but I think the way we went out and approached the game, after approached this game the same way, I think we could get a decent result for the second leg. So I think that was the important thing from the game, and we went out there and done a thoroughly professional job, and I think we just started everything right.
Tom Boyd speaking to Peter Martin, and joining me in the studio this evening